Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Trader Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 24th of July 2019, so welcome everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's afternoon session where we're going to have a quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest, and we can continue. Okay, so also just a quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel here, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and also our JFD research page where you can go in and have a look at different analysis that we do on a daily basis, and yep, I believe you can find a lot of useful stuff here. So, but for now, let's jump into the charts. Now, the first one I want to touch on here is Dow Jones. Now, looking at this one, and you can see that yesterday it closed in the positive territory. It managed to get closer to its all-time high figure here near the 27,400 level that was reached kind of on the 16th of July. As you can see, but looking at the cash index right now, we can see that there is a bit of a slide, and we will probably, or most likely, we'll see a good opening lower here. I mean, below the yesterday's close. So. But it could still be, probably it would still be above this upside support line, this tentative upside support line that has been running here from around the low of the 14th of June. So we're going to keep a close eye on it, because if it holds, if it continues to hold, we may see this one curving up and pushing back to the upside. So basically something like this could be possible. And for now, as I said, looking at the cash index, it is moving a little bit more to the downside, but keep your eyes on this upside support line, because if it holds again and we see a nice rebound from it, then yep, we could revisit again the all-time high figure here near the 27,400. But if this fails to withhold, then well, this would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and of course this would place the index into uncharted territory. So that's why for now, be very careful. Also be very careful with the upside, but like I said, for now what we're looking here is we're keeping a close eye on this upside support line. If it gets a break and we see the price falling below this little low here near the 27,070, approximately around there, now this is where we could aim for lower levels. Initially we will target areas like the 26,950 and below that, but again, the slightly better area of potential support could be seen here near the 26,696 level. So roughly basically around the 26,700. But again, all these levels are approximate, because still, I mean, we could see overshoots, and well, you know how it goes basically. So for now, yes, like I said, we will have a move, well, an opening to the downside here below the yesterday's close. So let's see if this upside support line can hold. If the index decides to continue drifting lower, if it fails to withhold, then keep your eyes on the 27,070 zone, approximately around there. If we see a drop below this, this could lead towards further declines. Jumping into silver very quickly, I've looked at this one a while ago, and as you know, that last week we had a fantastic rally here to the upside, and then we sold off, and on Friday it sold off, but recovered somewhat. It started recovering this week, and you can see that now the commodity, the precious metal, is breaking the previous highs, the last week's highs here near the 16.59 zone, and of course this is somewhat, this looks somewhat as a positive sign, because this could in a way continue pushing further. Now initially we will target this R2, today's R2, which is around the 16.72 zone, approximately around there. Just slightly below that we do have this other area of resistance, and let me just kind of jump back into history here. Probably need to jump into a daily chart on this one. So this level right here near the 16.71, and that's the high of the 25th of May 2018. So that's why, guys, for now, of course, all this activity is looking quite positive, but initially we will see a few areas of resistance here. So initially the 16.72 zone, and slightly above that we do have the 16.83 area as well. So good potential area of resistance here. We'll see how it's going to perform around there. So that's why we're going to keep our arrow only up until here for now, because like I said, looking at the shorter time frames, it is quite overbought, because overall, as you can see, we are trading above this upside support line taken from the low of the 28th of May. So in a way, at some point we may see maybe this one reversing back to the downside here, and maybe even targeting this upside support line again. But again, this is a bit of speculation here. So for now, keep your eyes on some of these key levels. In terms of the downside here, now this has to be slightly adjusted, because what we're going to look at here now is this one, the 16.31 zone, approximately around there. And if we see a drop below this, then yep, we will target these slightly lower areas here. So keep your eyes on those. Jumping into a few pairs now, and now that's Australian dollar against the US dollar. So of course, looking at this picture here, you can see that the after breaking this very short-term tentative upside support line taken from the low of the 10th of July here, it drifted to the downside. Now let's not forget that we do have another important upside support line, and let me just put this one on the chart here, this one right here. So this is taking from the low of the 18th of June. So we're keeping a close eye on this one. In a way, we are targeting this level here, or should I say this line here. So in a way, this arrow should be something like this. For now, you can see that there is a bit of a rebound here today. The pair is trying to recover some of its losses. It's still, looking at this 4-hour chart, it is still trading below the 200 EMA, which is a bearish sign, and in a way, this kind of gives us an indication that there is still some downside left on this one. Now, but just the only thing is that something for you to keep in mind is we do have this little tentative downside line here. Now, again, don't focus on this too much, but probably just keep it in your heads, because if we see a push above the 200 EMA, and if we see, let's say, the rate climbing above this little area right here near the 0.6992 level, if we see something like this, a move higher, then in a way there is a possibility of seeing such a move here. So basically a push higher, a test of this downside line, and then another slide. So but we will consider such scenario only if we see a break above the 200 EMA initially, and then a break above the 0.6992, because we're not going to turn positive here. This move higher will be seen, for now it will be seen just as a temporary correction. So that's why, guys, be very careful with this one. I mean, in a way, if this struggles to push above the 200 EMA, we could see this one reversing earlier and pushing below these recent lows here near the 0.6974 level, and then maybe targeting this this upside support line. But again, like I said, for us for now, this is the more important target, this upside support line. If we see the rate stalling around here, then we'll take it from there. We may see maybe this one correcting back to the upside again, but again, that's a bit too much of guessing here. For now, keep your eyes on the 200 EMA. If we get a push above it and the 0.6992, then we'll aim for a little bit more recovery, but we'll only target this downside line initially, and then we'll take it from there, see what it wants to do. If it wants to slide again, that's great news for the bears, but if it wants to break it, then we'll examine some of these higher levels. But for now, like I said, this is what we're keeping a close eye on. EURCAD, jumping into EURCAD very quickly on this one, and of course overall it's not looking good. It continues to slide, or should I say it was sliding lower. The only thing is it started started consolidating here, and in a way what could happen here is this could end up ranging here for quite a while, because I mean, looking at both of the currencies, the euro and the Canadian dollar, both of them are right now somewhat on the weaker side. So and you can see that this is the kind of the movement that we're having here. It's kind of sideways activity. So on the downside, what we're looking here for is a drop below the 1.4629 zone, approximately around there. Ideally, we would like to see a nice good close below this level, and then maybe even a daily close below a daily candle, a close of the daily candle below this level. Then yep, we could consider further declines. We will aim for the 1.46 zone initially, and then the 1.45, 52, 53 area, approximately around there. Just to show you what those levels were in the past. Let me just jump into a daily chart on this one here. Now we're kind of going back all the way here. So as you can see, this currently the 1.4629 acted as a good area of support back in October 2017. So good potential level. So if we see a drop below this, then this could lead towards the lows, initially towards the low of the 26th of September, and then the one which is the 145.52 area, and then of course we'll take it from there after, but if we see such a move. So for now, keep your eyes on the 1.4629. If it gets a nice good break, then yep, further declines are possible. But if this decides to reverse back to the upside here and travels all the way above the 1.4734 area, now this is where it could become a little bit more interesting, because looking at this daily chart, even in a way, this could place the pair back above the 21 EMA, above the 20 SMA inside the Bollinger Bands, and then yep, could open the path to a slightly higher level. So, but for now, it seems like that the upside could be slightly off the table. But then again, before we kind of aim for lower areas, we need to see this good break, and ideally a close of a daily candle below the 1.4629 zone. Jumping into GBPUSD, now this had a nice pop here today, and it traveled higher. It seems that it's willing to move towards this to test this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 3rd of May, and for now, of course, it seems that it wants to continue drifting in that direction, but be very careful. I mean, this could all be tricky, and that's why, guys, for now, to be honest, we're not touching this one. We're just going to observe the price action and see what it wants to do, because it, in a way, it could even not travel to this downside line. It could reverse earlier. So that's why, in terms of some of the levels that to watch out for, what you could do here is keep an eye on these lows here, near the 1.24, 26, 25 area, approximately around there. Now this is where, if we see a drop below that, if we see a drop below this level here, then yep, we could revisit the so far the lowest point of July, which is near the 1.2380 82 zone, 80 area, approximately around there. And then of course we'll take it from there, see if it wants to break it to the downside. If it does, wants to drift further down, then yep, good news for the bears. We could see this one sliding further down. But for now, again, guys, like I said, it is at a very tricky spot. In a way, it is aiming right now for this downside resistance line. Keep an eye on it. If it climbs above this area near the 1.25 zone again, then we will aim for this downside line. We'll see how it performs around there. If it stays below it, then could see another leg of selling. But if it starts breaking it to the upside and it starts pushing above the 1.2560 level here, this one right here, then yep, oh, wrong, there we go. So, and then yep, we will target slightly higher level. So for now, guys, again, all eyes are on the 1.25 level, 1.2507, approximately around there. And then if we see a push above the 1.25 zone, then yep, we will aim for the for this downside resistance line. And the last pair for this session is EURGBP. So this is what I was talking about this morning. So this morning we were still here. Basically, we were still above the 0.8955 level, but as I said, that we need to see a nice good break here below this in order to kind of aim for further declines. So we did get our move lower, we did get our test of this key area of support near the 0.8916-15 zone, but to be honest, the pair fell further and tested the 0.8905 level. So you can see that now the bulls managed to push it all the way back here to the upside. The bearish aspect of this is still that the fact that it's trading now below the 200 EMA here on the 4-hour chart. So if it remains trading here today, then yep, we could see another leg of selling here, potentially maybe driving this one back towards the 0.8905. So for now, of course, the big question here is, will this manage to stay in the negative territory for the week? Because that's going to be quite interesting, because if we stay in the negative territory for the week, then, well, I mean, deeper declines could be possible in the near term. We could revisit these lower areas here, but for now, of course, guys, you can see that the bulls are really trying to fight hard and trying to kind of push this one back to the upside. Let's see if they can accomplish that. But if it stays below the 200 EMA here today on the 4-hour chart, then yep, we could see further declines going into tomorrow or even Friday. In terms of the upside here, if this travels back above the 0.8955 level, I mean, this is where we will probably stay a little bit neutral and just continue observing this one. But if it starts climbing above this little area right here near the 0.8976, now this is where we will probably reconsider a possible move back towards the psychological 0.90 level. But if this surrenders, now this is where it could become even more ugly for the bears, and we could see maybe further acceleration to the upside. So for now, guys, long story short, for now we are more kind of bearish than bullish on this one, even though we are seeing a bit of a climb back here, a bit of a fight from the bulls. But if it continues to trade below the 200 EMA here, then yep, we will continue aiming to the downside. But if it travels suddenly back above this 200 EMA and or even back above the 0.8955 level, now this is where, I mean, it could become interesting again, I would say. But again, we will remain somewhat neutral around this territory. So keep your eyes on today's price action and how this is going to end up the day. Okay, guys, I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for sticking around and watching it till the end. If you want to join me tomorrow morning, as always, on my Traders Espresso, and that's 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.